We are joined by Joel Yarborough, who is the CEO of Moment. Thank you very much for your time. We do appreciate it. Now, obviously, Moment operates in a very different kind of market. How would you say you remain resilient in terms of the systems that you have designed that work across different realities?
I think operating in Africa, as people certainly in SA know well with load shedding and everything else, is all about uneven networks, uneven power, uneven operational systems, et cetera. So the way we look at it, number one, from a technical standpoint, we're built on 3 different clouds globally. We have an incredible level of technical resilience. But at the same time, it's also about partnerships and making sure we're working across the ecosystem. So if one partner has challenges, we can run payments with other partners, et cetera. Because as we support large merchants, it's essential that we never go down. And we operate at a very high level of fault tolerance. So it's about partner, infrastructure, foresight, and a little bit of experience to make sure we can provide something that offers global quality technology across the Africa market.
You've actually been quoted as saying Africa is not for sissies. What makes Africa's payments ecosystem unique compared to other regions that you've worked in?
So many things. What doesn't make it unique? But one is it's an interesting combination of legacy payments. So very, very strong cash culture, very strong in-person culture. And at the same time, some key infrastructure areas like electronic switching or mobile money have also seen very high penetration in their own way. So it's kind of a discordant market because it operates both in the past and in the future at the same time, and very often for the exact same person. Linked to the previous question, very often someone who might operate a certain way on Wi-Fi on their phone will operate differently when they're remote, right? USSD is still an extremely important technology across most of Africa, which is just not true in the rest of the world, where data costs have gotten a lot lower and people are more comfortable leveraging their data. So you have this kind of uniqueness of how the systems work, uniqueness of payment culture, and then of course, enormous market in terms of number of countries, regulatory environments, cash settlement, cross-border money movement environments, et cetera. So at every level, there's complexity, which has alienated or prevented market entrance in a lot of cases. So when we looked at entering the market and thought about how would we do something differently, we looked at partners that had already had to deal with that level of complexity in the past, which is what makes MultiChoice such a perfect partner to launch in the market, right? They operate in 50 countries for more than 40 years, developing trust across a range of markets, and then collecting money across the mass market, right? From people that are, absolutely, very cash-centric, very sensitive to their day-to-day needs, to the very high-end premium customers who have vastly different payment cultures and different economic situations. So working with a partner like that gets us across markets very quickly, gives us a huge amount of insight into how the market works, and gives us a chance to then grow and offer those same services and network to other merchants that have similar issues.
What about the emergence of technologies like AI and blockchain playing its role in the payment system in Africa?
AI. Obviously, there's
AI is wild.
There's a two-sided. It's a two-edged sword,
yeah.
Right? And I think people are increasingly aware there's a two-edged sword there.
Yeah.
But when you're in the payments industry, routing transactions effectively, identifying and blocking risk, identifying bad actors from a compliance and a money laundering standpoint. Those are really things that are foundational to doing this business very well, that AI gives you superpowers in that area. And if you have enough data, and we have a lot of data, we process payments for more than 9 million people in a month. We have payment data on 20 million people operating in 44 countries already. That's an environment in which AI gives us a lot of leverage on top of that data. But at the same time, we can talk about it at another juncture. There's a lot of concerns about things like employment that come along with that. On the stablecoin side or the crypto side in general, ultimately in this industry over the next 3 to 5 years, payments becomes hybrid, right? Between traditional currencies, fiat, and digital crypto and stablecoin currencies kind of blended together. And ultimately, it gives us the ability to settle payments faster, to facilitate cross-border trade in more fluid ways, to link data to the actual payment itself, so payments themselves can become smarter and more actionable. So it's an incredible opportunity going forward, and the industry will see lots and lots of transformation over the next 3 to 5 years. And at the same time, the regulators have an incredibly important role to play, which is what's so great about conferences like the PIPC, because it brings regulators and market participants together to help chart that course together.
And just perhaps in closing, which innovations excite you the most, and which ones are overrated or overhyped?
Ultimately, all innovations are overhyped and all innovations are underhyped, right? It's about timing. I've been in the industry long enough that great ideas from a decade ago just were too early. And now we're finally starting to see them. There's very little that's truly new under the sun versus things that are finally ready for action. And as I mentioned before, with things like the data cost in Africa still being high and only starting to come down now, things that we will be able to make available to the market broadly as data comes down may be old hat in a place like China or India. And we're looking forward to seeing a lot of those innovations come and then broaden the market. So I think things that actually matter to human beings, who gets access to credit, which businesses can afford to grow, who can buy services affordably, who gets access to quality goods. Those are the things that matter. And whether you get there with AI-enabled catalogs driving payments, or you get there just because people can find stuff online, both of them actually matter because they've changed people's lives, right? And we have to mix those technologies as we go along.
Great. Thanks so much for your insights, Jill. We do appreciate it.
Pleasure. Thanks for the opportunity.
Thank you.